Hello from me, Lazarus. We continue with the next lesson of the course by Lazarus IDE. We are currently on the 10th chapter, Common Controls Ribbon Components. We continue with the second part of the first point with the TStatusBar component. TStatusBar, as you know, I guess, from other programs is a status bar, which displays certain data, which are different depending on the program window. Here's the ribbon in Lazarus IDE, here it is in a real project, located here, in the source editor, at the bottom. We see that it consists of several parts, which are called panels. Let's open a new project and place one such component on the form. And we see that initially and by default, it is positioned at the bottom, taking up the entire width of the form, and on the left in the object inspector we see the tree structure. From this structure, it can be seen that by default, the status bar consists of a single panel. We double-click on it, or right-click on the panel, a dialog window appears, where we can now add more panels, using the Add button. We click on the first panel, for example 0 in the object inspector we are shown its properties. We'll find the text property, and write in it, project_17_2 and the width property will change it to 100, like this, and you see this panel is this. Of course these properties can be changed programmatically. Let's demonstrate this in a small program. We'll add a button to the form with the text start on it, and then we'll click twice on it, and in the procedure that opens we'll write the following code. Then we compile and we'll run the program and we'll see the following. Wait a minute, let me show you here. Here I'm compiling and I launch, and we see a new project. Here's a more complex example, but we'll see that in a moment. So, we continue with the next component, toolbar. A toolbar is a ribbon where buttons are added, such as these bars in the Lazarus IDE itself, as well as separators and others. Let's look at it with an example. We add one such bar to our previous project, up here, and we see that it is positioned at the top of the screen, and adding a new button or separator becomes by right-clicking on it. And here you see what menu we have: a new button, new check button, new separator, like separator. And separators are of two types, thicker and thinner. Let's add a few buttons and a separator between them and we'll see the following. This is at compile time, and the buttons are not visible unless we put the mouse over them, or, if they're check buttons, we have to highlight them. Like on the right side. Now we'll do it programmatically, by pressing the start button, then all buttons will be highlighted. So, if we want to have images on the buttons we need to include the well-known TimeAgeList component, so let's open the Common Controls bar and place one such component on the form. Here we saw it, then we double-click with the left mouse button on it, and in the dialog window using the Add button we select an image from the Lazarus /images folder. We have already looked at this in the previous lessons. I chose 4 of these images, 1 for each button. Next we need to connect Toolbar 1 bar to ImageList 1 component. This is done by selecting Toolbar 1 bar and selecting from the page. Events, ImageList 1 from the Images property, not really. Excuse me, here it is in the Properties page. Wait a minute, let's open Lazarus IDE again and look in the project. Yes, this is not in the events, it is in the component itself, in its properties, and there we select ImageList 1. So, next we'll add 2 lines of code to the buttons procedure to programmatically change the image index property of the first and fourth buttons. The code is like this, and the entire code in the procedure is as follows. We compile and run, and now we can look at our program again. Here's what the buttons look like when we click them, but I'll close for now, and once again I will compile and run it so we can see it well. And here, before that nothing is visible, but when we place the mouse over the buttons, they are already visible, and if we press the Start button, all 4 buttons are visible. That's all for this lesson. Best regards.